guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Xenosaga Episode 3. Last time, we found these guys. And is this... I think this is one of the new ones. There's like a whole bunch of different variants of these guys, so we'll show off one of these fights, even though I know I showed off a few of them last time. That's a good way to start. And the other thing that I tend to like doing, pretty much going forward in the next little while, we're going to start not running into those big guys anymore. And so you're just going to run into a lot of soldiers, so you're going to want to hit a lot of attacks that hit a lot of enemies, but don't necessarily do a lot of killing. Let's see, what are you weak against? Basically to build them up to use your special attacks that hit all enemies so you can knock them out real fast. So let's see, do I have... Unfortunately, I don't have very many useful offensive tools with Xion. I'm going to have to build her up a little bit in the skill grid. But that's not too much. Ow, that did a lot of damage. I would recommend making use of something like skin down on these guys, or soul down if you're going to use another type of attack. And slow as well. And then skin down. There we go. I'd like to weaken them just a little bit more so that I can use Xion to take them out right away here. So yeah, once you hit skin down, they start taking a decent amount more damage, and hopefully Xion can one-shot them all now. Of course not. Bitch has got no HP left now either. Oh, well, I'll build up my boost. I won't bother wasting another attack to try and end him. Though I probably should heal. There we go. Okay, you do get ether cores from them. You can get ID plates, rank badges, and dog tags. Dog tags are actually an accessory. If you recall, I think they're a necklace? Yeah. So you can get these guys here, which actually reasonably good, and they sell for a decent amount as well. And since that was the same battle, I just did it off screen. But we actually got two pretty useful abilities. Imperial Judgment is KOS' second special attack. It's powered up by the amount of souls, not by the amount of enemies that he kills with it. So it's only going to be level 2 for now, because unfortunately I didn't kill any more Gnosis. And I can't go back to the ship to dive anywhere to fight any more Gnosis right now. And Gale Blade is just another good ability for Jin. I think it's got a high critical rate or something like that. Go. So yeah, let's just scan that on Jin for a quick moment. Let's see, Gale Blade. Okay, this one's not as good as I was expecting it to be. What I'm thinking of with him is, let's see here. Gale Strike is actually one of his... probably his best ability in the game. Heavy physical attack, high crit rate. Let's see, Gale Blade 2 is decent as well. The one we have now is alright. But anyway, let's see, Xion, if I can learn a second level spell with you, Beam Bolt. Yeah, let's do that one. And do I want to teach you anything else? Probably not. I don't think I'm going to be doing much more with you, but we'll teach you that, since that moves you forward. And did I want to give you anything? Let's give you Beam Bolt 2, since that seems to be useful in this particular area. But yeah, for the most part, I'm going to be keeping the characters I have for a short amount of time until I can get Xion up to KOS-MOS' experience level. And then I'm probably going to use those two in combination with Jin, because Jin is very good. Okay, let's make sure I'm not missing anything here. There's a lot of opportunity to miss stuff around here. Now, once we press that, that'll go forward, but I do want to take care of these guys first, since they're kind of in the way.
Don't hesitate.
These are, of course, standard URTVs. I think most of them that you're going to encounter, at least going forward for a little while, are all weak to beam, which makes them pretty easy to deal with. They're also, yeah, they're strong against lightning, so don't worry about that. So pretty much Rodeo Spike. pretty much going forward, this is what I was trying to get across in that first battle there, is use a couple of attacks that use, say, about, let's see, there's Blizzard,
Ether Drive.
that hit all enemies, that use about 10 EP up, and you've cut their HP in half and build up about 1.5 to 2, depending on how many enemies are in the fight, boost levels. And then you can use someone to instantly take them out with the level 2 attack, and the battle becomes very, very quick and very easy. It also gets you a lot of experience going forward, as you can see. And we get a decent amount of points around here, we get a decent amount of money, and we get some good items.
You better run.
So pretty much the battles just become repetitious. I'll be cutting a lot of them out going forward. I just figured I'd show off the strategy a couple of times because it really is straightforward. With this particular party, Xion tends to go last a lot, so I use her to end the enemies. But you may notice up in the top right corner that I have 4 boost instead of 3 now. That's one of the other things I wanted to mention, and I need time to get into that. The item we got in the last episode, or the one before, or whenever it was, let's see here, the Union Neck, the one we stole from Virgil, has max boost +1. Now, the max boost you can get at the end of the game once we start getting more than just max boost +1, we can get stuff with +2 and +3 as well, is 9. Unfortunately, this would be a very useful ability to have basically throughout the game, and I really think we should have had max boost 1 pretty much like 3 hours into the game. But we don't. We don't get it until, 24 hours into the game. So that's kind of unfortunate. But no. Anyway, let's see. 31, 6. Okay, so almost ready to switch people up. Here we get skill upgrade A. And let's see. Here, go all the way back to this one eventually, and we'll set that one in motion eventually, and we'll be able to grab this one. Now I think, if I recall correctly, it'll start moving regardless, but if you hit this, it'll start moving the other conveyor belt as well. I don't think you can hit it from here and collect the item. Yeah, you can't hit it, so you gotta go wait till it gets all the way down to this end, which I'm just gonna throw fast forward on to make that go a little bit faster, because it does take quite some time to make its way for some reason. There we go. And from here, we get an assault vest for Ziggy. Now, I can't remember if this one's actually better than what he has on. Yes, it's much better. Okay, so I basically bought that for one boss fight. Oh well, that's fine. Yeah, but don't buy both of them because this one is just flat out better than both of them. But anyway, he's got really good armor for quite some time. Nice. Now I believe this is our exit. It is our exit. As you can see, the city's on fire. Labyrinthos seems fine, but once we get there, it's on fire. Everything seems to be on fire. Now, I don't think there are anything we can grab over on this end here. I think this is all just things on fire. Alright, took care of that guy. We can blow up a whole bunch of stuff around here, so I'm going to kind of move a little bit slow just to make sure that I'm getting everything. Because as I've mentioned before, the strategy guides for this game, both the official one and the online ones, are really not that great, and they don't have complete treasure lists, and it's just a nightmare trying to make sure I'm getting everything. So hopefully I haven't missed anything yet. You can still fight soldiers too. Okay. Yeah, so we can fight Federation soldiers. I don't think there are any Utic soldiers around here. Okay, I changed my mind on my party. I ended up going with Jin once I got them up. I want to get Junior and Chaos up to Momo and Ziggy's level so that I can start making parties that are kind of a combination of different styles of attacks, because at this point in the game it's a little more important to kind of balance out your characters like your healers and your magic users and your medium and your tanks and stuff like that. Early on in the game, it really doesn't matter at all, so I didn't worry about it. But now, I think it's probably worthwhile at least looking into, so I'm going to do that. Before you go to the right, which is the correct way to go, make sure you head down here and pick up this guy. Something shiny, Federal Report. There is one more left. We have 7 of the 8 of them. Once we get all of them, we get a couple of things for it, but we need to move forward in order to actually claim any of those prizes. So let's head over this way. I don't think there's anything back that side. But yeah, there's a lot of things that you can miss by going too far in one direction or another direction, so I'm going to try and go slow through this area. As you can see, treasure chest. We need to go and get that. It's down here. Over this way. And here we get an ES disc, which I can't remember what that does, but I don't care, so that's fine. And here we get the other one, the last Federal Report. So, make sure that you... well, it's not like you can do anything about it at this point, but preferably you will have all of them at this point. Those are update files, Federal Report. No, stop. Thank you. Yeah, so there we have all 8 of them, and yeah. You can't access them from here. In order to read them, we actually talked to someone later on that will tell you how to read them, which makes absolutely no sense. This part of the game is both my favorite and least favorite part of the game for a number of reasons. This is the spot where you can see that Federal Report if you somehow didn't go down there, which the first time I came through here I did. You try and bypass and head out, you actually can't leave. You're stuck in here right now. You can't go back to the Elsa. You can't do pretty much anything. So you have to continue on in order to proceed with the game. There are dead soldiers around here, and also live ones. Yeah, I don't think you can talk to any of the dead soldiers or the dead people, but there are 2 groups of soldiers, and those are them. Actually, I think there might be one more over on the other side here. But, there we go. Blow up a bunch of new stuff that wasn't here before. And there are some items around here, finally. Yeah, there's one more soldier over here. Stupid me got back attacked. Because I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to back attack the soldier, and I ended up getting my ass back attacked. Oh well. I think we can blow this one up too? Yes. Eventually, if you spam the button enough. And we get skill upgrade. Woot. Actually, the skill upgrade seeds aren't too bad, so that's kind of worthwhile. Alright, before we go in, let's run down your line a little bit and teach Type M, though I think that's pretty much the end of the mechanical enemies at this point anyway, but that would be useful to have going forward anyway. And I don't care about most of that other stuff. And give you Thunderbolt. And you've already finished that one. It would be nice to give you something to hit everyone with. I would go Blizzard. That's probably a good choice going forward. Yeah, we don't have too much longer with those guys in our party, and then we'll bring in Xion and KOS-MOS. But bringing Jin is great for this area because he's already learned his ability for getting extra criticals against biological. He has a physical attack that hits all enemies, and he's physically strong enough to take down some of the stronger enemies that are focused around here. And he has a better weapon than most of the other characters from the segment address door. So pretty much all around, I would highly recommend Jin for this area.
Chief, is it happening again?
I'm okay. It's not a big deal.
I wonder if that's going to be a big deal for the entire game, or if we're going
hurry to the hospital and rescue Mom.
Actually end that little plot thingy with her fainting all the time. At some point soon.
Xion, wait! Don't go alone.
It's dangerous to go alone. Yeah.
The use of elevators within the facility.
Yeah, shut up. We can't use elevators and we can't use traps. And there's a shop here if you want to use it. And I don't think there's any soldiers around here, and I don't think we get any items for the things we've already blown up. But yeah, make sure you hit the save point. They won't let us go in here. There we go. Yeah, I don't think we get anything for that. They said the elevators aren't working. But the first thing we should do is head to the elevator because treasure chest. And seriously, he sounds like he's got a little bit of a handicap going on there. Anyway, we have these guys, which are enemies we fought before, Berserker Aliens, which we fought before. There's variants of them now. Best thing to use against them would be Raging Sea. Because Jin is way too good. The other thing we can make good use of is, I don't think I taught it to you. Probably taught it to Chaos there. But ice is a good element in here because very few enemies are strong against it, and most of them are weak against it, at least from my recollection. Beam is also good, and not very many enemies are weak to beam. So there we go. Yeah, let's do a couple of normal shots. Actually, I should have done that. No, never mind. Anyway, let's show off Imperial Judgment, which should easily be able to kill them. Very nice. He does quite a bit of damage with that. If you decided to do a little bit of grinding when we had access to Gnosis enemies, it would be a good idea to build that up even more than I did. There's a weapon for Jin that's actually weaker than the one he already has, but it would be better than the one you can buy. So here's another thing that makes no sense. Little Xion went in front of us, and I had to blow up that door. This is the only way through. Somehow she got through all the monsters and that door, but you can't open that door. So I have no idea how she got through here. But anyway, yeah, this point in the game is weird. Anyway, smack that. That's the other thing. She wouldn't have been able to get by that without whatever that square button is. I can't remember what that's called off the top of my head. Alright. Now, pretty much anytime you can go in a door, but there's a stairwell there as well, I would recommend at least popping up the stairs to see what you can do before heading into the door. Normally you can't do anything, but it's good to take a look anyway. So we can't use the elevator. We can blow up that for an item, and we can blow up that for a treasure chest and a Realian.
Here I am.
Now, they're basically all the same, but the same thing applies. So anytime you have 4 enemies in a fight and you use an attack that hits all enemies, you get almost a full level, depending on criticals, or back attack. Back attack, I think it doubles the amount of boost you get per attack, and you can really reduce the amount of HP that those guys have really quick. Like, watch Raging Sea go. Yeah, he can critical them and just end them really fast, so I would recommend using Raging Sea as your first attack and hope that he doesn't critical. But if you're not worried about getting any additional experience or anything like that, then you should be able to kill them pretty easily. But yeah, pretty much 2 attacks that hit all enemies, and you'll have enough boost in order to kill them with a special attack that hits all enemies, and ends really, really quickly. Rank badges, they sell for a decent amount. Here we get Ether Pack L. Don't think you say anything. First things first, you see there's a segment address there, but before doing that, we want to head in here first. Out of control, crawling all over the place. We can slow them down somehow. Container of one of the shells turned into a barricade, had the drug that Coolidge made. If you remember, he made something that prevented the Realians, their synapses, or froze them in place, or something like that. But yeah, that's just kind of your indicator of how you're supposed to go forward. This was the lady we saw before, the one I had to go back for because I missed, and she deals with the federal reports. Once you found them all, she copies the data, and she gives you decoder number 7. Very nice. Cipher the truth. We should get away from here quickly. Heard there's a passenger freighter somewhere where you can check the details of the federal report. I wonder which. It's the Elsum. Why did they even bother? Why didn't they just say, yeah, you could decoder this anywhere, anytime you get to any terminal? Because that would make sense. But no, it's only done on the ELSA, specifically in the professor's lab. Alright, so let's blow up this. This is address 7, which we just got the decoder for. And here we get Ring of Coercion, which is alright. I wouldn't recommend it. Game, stop doing that. Nulls, enemies counterattacks, and revenge, so you can't be countered whether you hit them or not. So that's good, I guess. It's a lot more important for mech fights than it is for these fights, because not a lot of enemies tend to do that. If we destroy the barricade, we'll be surrounded by the Realians. Must be a way to do it without putting ourselves in danger. Thing is, as soon as you walk up, the first thing that gets targeted, so even if you're not paying attention, is the container, which is going to stop them. But if you decide to change and blow those up, they'll start to swarm you. So this one, it freezes them all in place, and now we can go kill them all. So I'm going to kill them all, but that's pretty much all the time I have for today. They're pretty much stuck like this permanently. You can go in and out different doors too, and it doesn't seem to affect it. But I'm going to kill them all. If you go from behind them, you'll get your preemptive strike, and your boost gauge will raise after each fight. So pretty much just use special attacks to end the fights quickly and get lots of experience for it. Anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.